Guys, good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of an unusual video, this one, only because I've never done anything similar, that kind of style of video. So, for those of you that know me, I normally create gaming videos, the occasional review of a product, and so on and so forth. However, I would like to thank everyone. Welcome to the very, very first episode of my Mounjaro weight loss journey. I'm very excited and a little nervous to be sharing this with you, to be honest. But me, before I committed to this decision, I went online as any other person does. I done a lot of research, watched a lot of videos of YouTubers going through the same process, and that gave me the encouragement and the confidence to kind of get on this journey. So I know that by being open about the process and real, obviously, that maybe that could help you or someone else that you may know. And at the same time, it will keep me accountable too. Because of this is I wanted to share the basically use it as a record for me as well. See how I'm doing across the timeline, and obviously sharing obviously the highs, the lows. And everything in between, really. So yeah, so if you're thinking about starting Mounjaro, or you're just curious about it, yeah, just stick around. So the goal is to put an episode every week. This week's episode is going to be summarizing week 1 and 2. I have started Mounjaro. I got it 2 weeks ago. I think it arrived on the 7th of the 5th. I think I had it down 7th of the 5th. Right. And then yeah, so today basically we are like literally just about starting, kind of like end of week 3 really, but the video you watch now is going to be reflecting week 1 and 2. Right, so a little bit about me. So I've struggled with weight for a while, to be honest. Going from being very fit in my early 20s and early 30s to gradually gaining weight in such a rate that I didn't realize it was quite late. So I went from a weight of 75 kg. Sorry, I'm going to be using metric. I know. Sorry, I will try put the conversions up there somewhere. Going from weight of 75 kg to gradually over the years of a happy marriage, I should say, and 2 kids and 2 jobs. To reaching the 95 kilo mark. Now, it happened so gradually to almost like a kilo a year that I didn't notice. I did notice though how I felt, and I started becoming very, very body and kind of like image conscious. Clothes don't fit. You always wear the baggy stuff. You wear jumpers even in the warm weather, and so on and so forth. So it was taking a toll on kind of like my mental state and my confidence, to say the less. So I've tried many diets, as you can imagine. I've tried pretty much everything. I even was vegan for a quite long period of time. So it reached the point that I developed obviously asthma due to weight gain, which I don't want to believe, but my GP told me. And hence I'm on inhalers at the moment as well. So the old brown and blue and all that stuff. I found myself waking up in the night, not be able to breathe. Not exactly sleep apnea. I wouldn't say it was that severe, but I used to get up and having to, gasp for breath and set up. I felt tightness in my chest and all that stuff, but it would happen overnight and it would just disrupt the sleep, and it was just a continuous carousel of like bad sleep, late night eating, and all that stuff. What else can I tell you about me? So I have 2 jobs. So I do a full-time job as a waiter, or usually from past life, and I've been in hospitality most of my years. So that involves obviously late night finishes, traveling late night at home. So you get home, I don't know, 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. And when you get home, the first thing you want to do is sit down and eat something because you haven't had the chance due to a busy night or whatsoever to eat. So not the best, not the best. On top of that, I work a part-time job alongside, as well as doing or trying to do YouTube on the other side, and practicing photography and starting my photography business, which is very early stages, but we're pushing there as well. So these four things, alongside my having to be a parent for my two kids and a good husband for my beautiful wife, um, you know, time is of a luxury, really, to be honest. Now, time to train, time to plan meals, all that stuff goes out the window once you have that many things going on. Now, I'm not saying it's the only way, but the way I got myself into that kind of path, that's how it was for me, anyways, right? So it was just a vicious kind of circle of like um, going round and round and round, and it just things kept repeating itself. So lack of sleep or very little sleep, as you say. I don't think I get more than 5 hours a night. Sometimes it's four, sometimes it's six. It's all up and down, really. So all that stuff piled up over the years, and it happened so gradual that I didn't even realize. So you wake up one day, you look at yourself like, what's going on? So, anyways, hence the decision to start this. Now, I will put a disclaimer out there. I will say I have really zero medical expertise. I am qualified not in any possible or legal reason. I'm not saying you should go and start Mounjaro. I am just gonna put out there what's happening with me and how this thing is affecting me. Um, and then yeah, you guys can make a decision for yourselves. Consult with your doctor, see what he says, he or she, and then make a decision from there on. See if that's kind of thing for you. But yeah, I'm just gonna tell you how it goes for me, anyways. And then, so what is my goal and my starting point? So starting point of weight is 95 kg. This was the original weight I started Mounjaro. Before the actual injection was available for connection. Oh, sorry. First of all, I should probably go back and say how I ordered it. So obviously, my doctor identified me with asthma due to weight. Then what I had to do, I live in the UK. I should have said at the beginning. I am 40 years old as well, on top of everything else. For some young, for some old. I definitely feel it on the older side, having said that. So I've reached the 95 kg weight point, right? So that was a bit too much for my height. I should probably say my current height is 169 centimeters. I was always under the impression that was 173. However, it looks like over the years I must have shrunk somewhere because I've lost it. I don't know where it's gone. I was so adamant about it. I was like even betting with my missus. I was like, there's no way I'm that low. But anyways, yeah, I'm 169. Turns out. So yeah. What is my goal? So my goal is I would like to get back down to a 75 to 80 kg weight. Ideally 75, if not lower. 80 is my first milestone. And then from there on, work my way down to 75. But the goal is not just about the numbers, not about just going down the weight. It's also about how I feel. And I would love to lose weight. But I would also love to feel better mentally, psychologically, physically, have more energy, sleep better is a big thing. But again, based on my wife, I wouldn't know. I snore like a truck. So that probably has to do with the whole can't breathe kind of thing. But yeah, it's probably contributing to it. Anyways, hopefully give her a bit of a peace and quiet as well, because that can be detrimental to relationships. So yeah, I would just like in general to feel more confident or feel how I used to feel. Anyways, so as we said, starting weight was 95 kg. Now, that was maybe a week before actually I received my injection was available to collect. So what I went up to, I went online, I went to Asda Pharmacy, as I'm living in the UK. It's a pharmacist within a kind of supermarket retailer, and I applied through there. They done a mini assessment online. They asked me for my current height, my current weight. I sent photos. I had to strip down to my underwear with a little paper holding up, saying, this is me at this date. Um, Me on top of a scale and all that stuff. I must say, seeing those photos, it was disheartening for me because I was like, you look at yourself in the mirror, but you look at it every day, so you kind of get used to how you look, as opposed to like an image in this look, showing some stranger, say, this is me, bam, it's crazy. Nah, no nice feeling. Anyway, a bit of an extra motivation, if you may. So went online, did the application, did the assessment with a pharmacist. They approved for me to start Mounjaro. They asked for my medical background. They asked for my details from my GP. I've given the address. They got in contact. They explained everything. So yeah, that's what it was. So starting weight was 95 kg. I think my injection was available for collection maybe a week later, or 7 days or 8 days later. So by the time I collected the injection, I done intermittent fasting. Usually, and I will explain where I'm going with this. So IF, or intermittent fasting, works for my lifestyle. I'm not saying you should do it, or everybody should do it. I'm not advertising it. Just the way my schedule is, it's easier for me to skip the breakfast or to skip the dinner, and then kind of go on to a fast in a way. It's just the way my lifestyle is. I mean, people say whatever works for you. If 3 small meals work best for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, amazing, do that. I'm pretty sure it's all about controlling calories, to some extent, and taking enough protein and all that stuff. But yeah, anyway, so starting weight was originally 95 kgs, the weight I applied for. By the time I got my syringe, I went to collect my syringe, I was down to, due to the intermittent fasting, I dropped down to 92.95 kg. And that was just intermittent fasting. I don't know if it was a psychological thing, because I was waiting for the injection to come through. But I was able, or not really able, but to control my eating a little bit better. Now, that helped, of course. So I started my Mounjaro injection on the 7th of the 5th. What did I do? So yeah, so that day I fasted, actually, because I didn't eat the night before. I think I've ate my first meal, it was about lunchtime, 1 o'clock. It was just salad and some mackerel. Nice and light, to be honest. I was a bit worried, I must say, about the whole injection. So, but yeah, I must say it was way easier than I thought. Needles are like super tiny. I will show you eventually, so you can have a look for yourselves. But yeah, so right. So let's talk about week one. Right. So the shot itself, yeah, as I said, it was easier than I expected. I was super nervous, of course. Injecting yourself with something, it's always weird, but to my say, it didn't hurt at all. There was no blood coming out. Within the box of the pen, you get obviously the injection pen. You get they give you complimentary needles. I think I got 6 for mine. They give you 2 extra, even though it's 4 injections only, just in case you lose one, or one gets bent or whatever. That was on a Monday. Monday night, I was working in the restaurant. On the evening of the night, during the shift, I had my appetite disappeared. I don't know if it was a psychological thing. I thought it was placebo. Immediately, like I done the injection maybe in the morning, 10, 11 in the morning. By normally, I tend to eat like, I don't know, 5, 7 sometimes. My appetite had gone. I was obviously, because working in the restaurant business, I'm surrounded by food, so everything smells good, everything looks great. A little bit of there, a little bit of here, bite from there, bite from here. It accumulates at the end. You don't realize, but just by snacking at work, it just piles up. Honestly, guys, I had zero interest. I've never experienced that thing. Everybody's talking about Mounjaro and all these other YouTubers talking about food noise. Now, I don't think I've experienced. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I should classify. I don't think I've experienced food noise personally. But with me, what I found difficult was I wouldn't know where the line is. Where is the line that you stop eating? You know what I mean? So I would eat my dinner, and in between, I'll be like, oh, there's always space for dessert. Wow, yeah, of course, we'll go for a dessert. Um, but that was my main issue. Day one of week one, appetite gone, disappeared. I had zero interest in food. I don't know how. It was amazing. To be honest, it felt almost revelating. Very. I felt very free. To be honest, somebody that died all my life. I think this was genuinely the first time that I had zero interest in food. I didn't think about it. Didn't feel compelled by it. So it was a nice and unreal feeling at the same time. Week one went pretty smooth. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think around Thursday, the end of the week, I started feeling a little bit of a hunger. Not much, but towards the Thursday, Friday kind of thing. Then I read that the Mounjaro has what they call a half-life of 5 days. So it's in your system for 5 days. So it's to be expected to have those kind of hunger feelings coming back to you towards the weekend. Now, weekends for me, I do work both jobs. So I work in the morning somewhere and I work in the restaurant. So yeah, it's a very long day for me. And that makes it even harder for staying good to your diet. Or for me anyways, that's what it was. Yeah, I must say. So yeah, week one went great. So no issues apart from the little kind of hunger strikes, more or less. Nothing major, just small things. Between Friday, I would say a little bit of Saturday. What I did find to be helpful with week one and week two, it was drinking. I've increased my water consumption to the max. I drank a lot. And I've started taking certain supplements, which we'll talk about probably later on a different episode. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how long this episode takes, because it's a bit of a ramble. Sorry, I know it's the first one. It's going to be a big one. Sorry. Week two for me, I actually experienced the first kind of mild side effects with Mounjaro. I didn't know. I found out the hard way. I didn't did research enough. So Mounjaro kind of, obviously because it's a dual antagonist, I think it's called. It affects the two hormones in our body, the GLP-1 and the GPI. Or GIP, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyways, the two hormones, one of them slows down digestion and the other one kind of regulates insulin secretion and all that stuff. All good stuff for us. But by slowing down our digestion, our body finds it really difficult digesting heavy foods. So what happened to me? I had what was it? I think it was a chicken. It was a homemade chicken burger, and I put a bit of sauce, and I had a few, like 3 slices of bread with some butter. On the evening of that day, when I go to work, I had this about lunchtime, maybe 1 o'clock. When I went to work around the 5:30, 6 o'clock mark, I had such a stomachache. I thought I had food poisoning. I was like, what is this? What's happening? I had cramps. I had stomachache. I felt like the food was just sitting up here, on the top or the bottom on the top of my throat, ready to come out. It was a very unusual, not nice feeling at all. And on top of all that, my body rejected all that through the form of diarrhea. So I had diarrhea as well with everything else. And that lasted on the evening of the same day that I had all these foods. That was week 2, I think, maybe Wednesday. I think it was midweek. I thought to myself, oh yeah, it's going great. Let's have a little bit something a bit more naughty, whatever. Yeah, turns out I didn't like it. My body didn't like it. So in a way, Mounjaro forces us to eat good. So yeah, that was we learned through that lesson. So yeah, few, kind of like those kind of sessions in the toilet and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, so that as soon as I cleared off my system, I was back to normal. The day after, the Friday, amazing. Oh, sorry, the Thursday or the Friday, back to normal, no issue at all. I had no nausea. I haven't experienced that anyways yet, which is good. Uh, but to be honest, after that little episode, I have only been eating as clean as you can get. So salads, mackerel, tuna, chicken breasts, all the stuff, minus the skin where applicable. I mean, I buy them without the skin anyways, but yeah, bit of pasta now and there. Nothing too much, small portions of rice, clean, clean, clean. Oh, as lean as you can get, really. Um, what else can I tell you? Right. So, activity, very, very important. So, I've started going more regular to the gym. I always used to go to the gym. I don't think I ever stopped. But I've committed myself now to minimum of 3 days. And I do also sessions at home. I have some equipment at home. I have a spin bike. I do cycling. I do walking around where we live. I have a weighted vest. I use that as well whenever I feel extra strong. And I try to do 3 weight sessions in the gym just to minimize any potential uh, muscle loss or bone loss that may or may not. Apparently, the Mounjaro doesn't have those, but if you under eating calories, your body will naturally tap into your muscles. So, just to reduce that kind of potential side effect, I've started going minimum 3 days in the gym with weight training, or sometimes if I can make it to the gym, I train at home with some weights and I have I do spin, cycle, go for long walks and all that stuff as well. So that's from the exercise point of view. Uh, Normally in the mornings for me is not really a breakfast person, so I always eat just a black coffee for me. Black coffee, or with a spoonful of coffee creamer or milk whitener or whatever it is called, a splash of like soy milk or whatever it is. But that's it really for breakfast, and just get on with work and then record or book an appointment for the photography business and all that stuff. But yeah, in a nutshell, week 1, great, immediate appetite loss, no side effects, amazing, great. First week was amazing. Second week, just experienced some side effects, mild ones, about the midpoint week, just due to my being a bit naughty and eating a little the wrong things, maybe. But apart from that, all great. By the end of week 1, I had lost. Let me tell you. So we went down from 92.95. We went all the way down to 90.75. So yeah, that was in week 1, just by that. Doing intermittent, I must say, weeks 1, yeah. So I guess overall week 1 was a mix of excitement, adjustment, and learning as well, and week 2, of course. I'm still getting used to the new rhythm, but it's amazing. It really does help. This thing is really helping a lot, and it does help a lot. I've noticed with my intermittent fasting, because I'm still applying it, taking away suppressing appetite. It's amazing. I can go for as long as fast as I want when it's time to eat, or I feel like I want to eat. I want to eat clean because I don't want to have anything like at the previous episodes we talked about. So yeah, so that's pretty much summary of week 1 and 2. Lost a bit of the weight, great, feeling great. There was no side effects. So next week I'll be talking about how my body is responding, how I'm planning meals maybe, and if those side effects kind of like are still sticking around. But if you've started Mounjaro or thinking about it, yeah, drop us a comment below. I'd love to hear how it's going on for you guys, or answer any questions I may be able to answer. I'll do all that in the next video. But yeah, of course, yeah, as usual. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, of course, if you haven't had so. There'll be new episodes coming up every week. But yeah, I guess thank you very much for watching, and then we will see you next week. Take care.